Hello, everyone. This is the Inner Voice Show, part of the Evolving Mind series in the Togetherness Media. I'm Dr. Foojan Zeine. I'm the founder of the Awareness Integration Theory. This is a show about what matters most in our lives: our minds, our thoughts, feelings, actions, relationships, this beautiful journey of life. Today, I will share the tip of the week about why we give up and what do we need to know and be aware of so that we don't. And then I will share with you how we go from love to separateness and back in the Ask Me segment. And I am excited to bring you Dr. Arthur Sierra Micoli. He's a licensed clinical psychologist who has been treating clients for more than 35 years, and he has been the faculty of Harvard Medical School for several years. Arthur is the author of American Reunited, a relational solution to bridging the political, social, and personal chasm dividing our nation. We will be talking about how we became so divided and how we could go back and be united again. So first, here's the tip of the week. Here's the tip of the week. This quote from Thomas Edison: "Our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time," has become really relevant this week. I've been talking to people with major goals in their life who have surrendered to their hopelessness and given up pursuing their goals. I've been talking to couples that have been married and have given up on their marriage. Some remain in their marriage, but have given up inside. Some give up relating to their family members. Some not only give up on their body, but even abuse it. And others have given up on life. Why do we give up? Some people have an expectation that life, work, success, relationships should be easy. So when life brings obstacles in front of them, they get perturbed and give up. Many times people see other people's success and assume that they made it effortlessly in one night, and rarely acknowledge all the years and the sweat and tears that it took to get there. There are people who will try a couple of times and then stop believing in themselves. They doubt their abilities and go into a state of powerlessness. It may be that they're in need of additional skills that would get them closer to their goals, but they only try what is comfortable or available. And if it doesn't work, give up. Learning from people who are successful in these areas are important. Seeing what tools they have used and finding out how to obtain those skills are the way to go. When people have made mistakes in the past and felt shamed or ridiculed by them, have difficulty moving forward or take a risk. Most of the time, they're afraid of making a mistake again and hold back. The anxiety of public humiliation that might be experienced by making a mistake or failure stops them from applying themselves. There are some people who see themselves as a victim and project that no matter how much they try, someone will ruin it for them, and they can never win. Therefore, give up. Give up a fight that was never there, but only in their perception. Some can't visualize beyond where they are, and although they give lip service to future vision and goal, it is difficult for them to change or can't see or visualize all aspects of how it would turn out. And since they can't have a guarantee, they give up and stay in their comfort zone. Giving up a dream, vision, or a goal usually creates resentment inside. Feelings of sadness, regret, frustration, powerlessness, and hopelessness creeps in. A sense of grief shows up for letting go of a certain future. Most of the time, as time passes, a sense of regret and remorse about not trying enough follows. The only time that I know giving up works is when one is giving up an unrealistic fantasy to deal with what is real in the present moment, since holding an unrealistic vision will only devastate the person more. So, set your vision and goal about work, relationships, or any aspect of life. Visualize it. Identify the skills that you need to have for each phase. Timeline it and begin moving forward. When you hit an obstacle, learn from others who've been successful in that area and pursue it till it's actualized. For answers, for questions, for awareness, and finding all that might sabotage you from inside, go to my book, Life Reset, the awareness integration path to the life you want. Do the exercises, and you will be amazed about how you can find not only what you can be aware of your day to day activity and your thoughts, belief systems, emotions, and behaviors, and the way that it's impacting in your life, but you can also look at how to bring back all the stuff that was from the past that's still sabotaging you. Thank you. How do we go from loving each other to tolerating each other to can't stand each other, but yet want to hang out or have to hang out in the relationships, and then try to walk this way back into liking each other and then loving each other? I get that question consistently from married people who are on the verge of divorce, from family members, from people who are neighbors, from parent-child relationships. It's amazing that we go into a relationship and we'll, with all of this essence of wanting to relate, wanting to connect, yearning to have amazing, safe, intellectual, heartwarming conversations and relationships with people who we think they're safe and we could be safe for them. I've watched many of the marriages where at the beginning of their honeymoon stage, they were completely in love and they would do anything. And even if they saw something wrong from their partners, they would give them the benefit of the doubt. They would actually listen and start talking and conversing and trying to resolve things. And then as years go by, the interest to resolution would be less, and this concept of I'm right and let me prove to you that I'm right and I have to fight for where I stand attempts to create more and more separation from there, until one day that they just say, they call it quits. It's like, I'm done. I'm totally done. And yet I don't want to be done. And even if I'm done with this relationship, who says that the next one I won't go through the same thing? I've gone through this with parents this week, where their children, their grown children, it's just like, I don't like him or her anymore. Or children who see everything at the fault of their parents, and although they love them, but it's like they can't relate anymore. And you can take that in the work environment, you can take that in your best friends, you could take that in your neighborhood, you can take that in country people, countrymen, countrywomen. You can see that all over the place. What happens to us? Well, what happens is we lose interest. That at one point, when the desire is there for similarities, and we go into relationships with the hopes of similarities and looking at our similarities consistently, and then after a while, we obviously start looking at our differences. And then we start resisting everybody else's differences. And we want them to be just like us because it makes our identity more clear for us. It gives us the right to be if other people mimic us. So then it shows up as I am it, I'm the powerful. And, obviously my path is the right path. If I can enroll everybody else, that they should do it my way. Now, maybe you'll say it nicely, and then if you can't say it nicely, then you get upset, then you can manipulate, then you can strategize. And we see all of this in marriages and other close relationships, right? And even, larger relationships, such as politics or what we do in society. But what happens to us when we lose the concept of our similarities and the yearning that we originally had to be connected with people, to have a safe place to live? What happens to that part of us that really wants that, while it gets overridden, but another part of us that wants to be right and wants to be righteous and feels entitled by whatever I say it should be, and anyone else who doesn't believe in the way I do should be beheaded and is not going to be in my life anymore. Well, we lose relationships. We go into our own cocoon. And then we go into a place of hopelessness and almost a place of, I can't feel safe anymore in the world. I can't feel safe in my own home. I had a gentleman who, after 17 years of marriage, says, I go into a hotel and I feel better in the hotel when I'm alone versus waking up beside my wife in the morning. It's like, what happened? I remember them when they were completely in love. And they went through this path, and something changed when they thought that who I am needs to stay, and you have to become just like me. Or I feel bothered, and I don't want to be around you. So although it appears that my desire for the world to be just like me might appear to be great, but because it isn't, and because it isn't reality, that I'm going to face a very, very harsh and cruel reality that people aren't just like me, and they will never be just like me. There are areas that we're going to be similar. There are areas that we can connect to, and there's so many other areas that we don't. And yet, if I look at that as a possibility to growth, and I can actually look at who you are and look at how different you are, and maybe I can learn something. Maybe I can grow by learning something versus holding myself back in this cocoon. But not only that I would feel safe everywhere, among anyone, in any shape, form, any race, from any country, with any language or any color, that I could also feel a belonging everywhere versus feeling completely separated and isolated. And then I have to fight for where I am. There's no need for fighting. I can connect to you, whoever you are. And I can connect and I can feel you in however you are. And hopefully you will connect with me. And maybe in those aspects is where we could save our marriages and save our relationships and save our connections with our family members, with our friends, with our neighbors, with the world. And it might be a place where you and I can feel safe being together. Well, thank you for listening.
Togetherness Media. Togethernessmedia.com.